Welcome to DIY Flip. Today I'm going to show you how I made my little designs for my flip-flops and what I use. Okay, all these designs that I made over here, I made it with plastic convents. This material is bendable. You could bend it, you could cut it, you could put glue on it. I like using this because it's pretty strong. And then you could even sew through it, you know, if you want to keep your jewelry on it. So all the jewelry that I made, I used to make that. I made it like this. I used E6000 and I glued it all around it with the jewelry, as you can see. And these are my designs that I made, my own design. I like to make my own design because I don't want to copy nobody. So, and I use the E6000 for this. You could use, if you want to, you could use glue. You could use glue with the glue stick. But if you do use the glue stick and the glue gun, make sure you sew it because it's not as strong as the E6000. But you could use the glue if you want to on it, and then sew it. Sew your beads into the convent. Okay, so that's another way you could do. You could use the glue gun, but me, since E6000 is strong and I don't really have to sew it, it's a very strong glue, so I use the E6000 without sewing it. And these are all the things that I made with the E6000 on the plastic convents. There's more others that I made. Besides this, I made these also, the hearts. And these hearts are a necklace that I got from the dollar store on the kids side. They come in different colors. So I made this heart. I have to glue this here or sew it. But I made this heart, and then you cut it. You cut around the heart. If you want to sew it to be stronger, you could sew it. But this is how it looks. Then I made these squares. These all different kind of squares because I'm going to use them for my sandal to make a pattern material like this. You know, that you could use it, or you could use it this way on your flip-flop and put a little diamond in the middle if you want. But I made all these little squares designs with the plastic convents. Okay, all these squares I made, different colors you could use. And I made these with the bling ribbon. The bling ribbon, which you could use the bling ribbon on the canvas too. Glue it on with E6000. It comes in yellow and white, and I got these in Walmart, maybe for $8. I don't know. I think it was $8. But you could use the bling ribbon, or you could use the diamond wrap in the dollar store because they have the diamond wrap. Or not, if you prefer, you could order them on eBay, and they come different colors. Okay, now with that I made also, you could use, if you don't want to use the plastic convent, you could use the flat craft. And this comes in different colors too. It's craft flat. This one's black. But you could use this, and this material is pretty strong also, so you could glue the E6000 onto it and then sew it. If you want to sew it, you know, like let's say if I want to glue this on there, and then you sew it onto the flat if you want to, or this one. These are the ones I made, but you could use any kind of jewelry and sew it onto the flat. Glue it first and then sew it. And you could use it, then you could cut it and put it on your flip-flop. Or if you want to not use this kind of material, you could use the foam. And the foam also comes in different colors, the foam sheet. And this is another material that's pretty strong. This is another material that's strong enough to stay on your flip-flop. So you could take your jewelry, wherever you make kind of jewelry that you're gonna make, and you could just glue it right onto it and then sew it. You glue it with E6000 onto here, and then you sew it. Then you use the needle and thread with the wire. You sew it with the wire, okay? So any of the ones that you could make, you could sew onto it. You could glue it first and then sew it. Glue it first and then you sew it onto it. Okay, so this is another material that you could use if you want to. It's the foam sheet, and it comes in different colors also. Now these are the things that I made. I made these, and I made these with a different kind of material. The emerald material, it's like a cloth. That's when I didn't have the other one. I was doing research on it, but these I made. But you could make any kind of designs that you could make if you want. And these are designs that I made using little jewelry. You know, the jewelry you could buy in Amazon, the little stone. I made these, and I glue it with E6000. I made these, and I glue, and these are with the plastic. I made these with the plastic. These I made with the plastic. These I made with the plastic. I'm going to show you all the ones that I made with the plastic. All these I made with the plastic. As you can see, I use E6000 and I made these with the plastic. It's in the back, as you can see. And these jewelry, these stones, gemstones comes with the holes, and you could order, you could order them on Amazon. They come already with the holes on it. So this is what I like to get the stones and the jewelry designed, because they have the holes already, and it's easier for me to sew it onto the flip-flop. These are all separate pieces that I took 3 of these, and I glued them onto the canvas. I glued them right onto the canvas. I took the canvas and I glue it onto it with the E6000, and then I cut it. You have to let it sit. When you're gluing any kind of jewelry onto the canvas with an E6000, make sure you let it sit overnight, for it could dry overnight. It takes a whole night to dry, okay? To dry up. And I made also this one, and these are made with also bees that I put bees, and I glue the bees. You could even glue bees onto it. This one I made also with the convents. I glued the bees and little parts of, you know, jewelry parts. I put them together, and then this is a separate part, and I glue this onto the convents, and I let it dry overnight. Put it there all together, let it dry like I said with the E6000. Then you cut it overnight, and then you cut it. Then you cut it all around it, shape it up and cut it. So these are the things that I'm showing you, that what you could use to make your own design with your own little beads or jewelry. You could use, I made this one, glue this one together. I made this one, and then I made this one. They're all different style. These are the ones that I made, as you can see. Then I have here that I made all different kind. Like I made this one, and I took all the little leaves and I glued them on to a form, to the flat, and I used orange instead of black, which I should have used white or black, but I have to cut all this. You will get the little cut blade with that. Then I made these. These are all separate too. And you can use this with the flat sheet or the form sheet with the E6000. You could use on it. All these little, they all separate, and what I do is I order little kind of jewelry, the ones they're sewable, and I order it on Amazon, and then I play around making a design out of them and then glue them. Okay, so this is how I make my designs for my flip-flops, by using the E6000 and different kind of sheets form, or the flat, or the convents. So these are some of the jewelries that I use also. They come in different colors too, but I have silver, and I made this out of that also. It's easier for me because I could sew it right into the flip-flop, but you use these certain parts to make your own design, you know, like I did. I even have the heart. You can put the heart. I glue the heart together, and these have holes on it too. So when you order it, make sure that they're sewable, that you can sew on it. So these I got in Amazon. I also made this with that. I put all of them together. It's a flower. I made my own flower. And this I made, I used this with the emerald cloth. Really don't like it too much, you know. So, but this is what I made that I have to cut. All right, so these are just details and ideas that I'm giving you. If you want to, you can make, and what you could use to make for your jewelry, you know. And now I'm starting to look into making with my beads because I have a lot of beads too. I made this. I'm not finished quite making it, but you could also, if you don't have your certain stuff here, you know, or jewelry, gemstones, if you don't have any gemstone, you could always get some beads, and you could sew your own material. You know, try to do research, and you could use also something like this and make something like this for your flip-flop. And this is what I made, but I'm not done with it yet. Okay, so everything you need here that I have here is you get some jewelry or gemstones. You could get you need the E6000 or the glue gun with the glue sticks, just for everything that I have here that I made. You also need the bling ribbon or diamond wrap. You also could cut this. What I like about this, but you could do also that with the form, and with you could do that with the form and the flex. You could also just, if you want to, you could make a heart. You know, you could cut it, and you could make a heart, trace a heart around it, you know, around it, and then sew it, you know, sew your jewelry to it, which is easier for, you know, for you if you want to, instead of dealing with the plastic. So you could use these material, you know, all three materials you could use, you know. So, and any kind of designs that you feel like making, you can make anything. You could be creative and making your own designs, your hearts, stars, wherever you think of that you're creative of making. You could also take this and the form and the flex, and you could also shape it up into a circle, you know, like make a circle out of it, and then sew the beads. If you want to sew the beads around it, regular beads, little tiny beads, you could use little beads and sew it all around, going around a circle, all kinds of beads. So you could use this too, but you could also cut this as a circle, and you could cut the form as any shape, as a circle too. Shape it up, go around it and stuff, and that'll be good. All right, so these are just tips that I'm giving you, and what you could use to make all of or any kind of designs that you like I did here. So I'm just giving you some tips for you to learn. If you're just starting like me, these are the great ideas that you could start with that I'm giving you. Okay, thank you for watching DiyFlip. Leave your comments, and subscribe my page, and share my page to anyone you know who are interested in making and designing their flip-flops. And this is what I use all here to design my flip-flops. Okay, bye.